All right, everybody. Good night. Good evening. It's Tom. We have a 1989 Summer Sprint Wildcard playoff game, the first game of the postseason for the 1989 Summer Sprint STRAT Football League. It's a retro. Well, it's not really retro. We use an old season and we do a single season draft for the summer. Well, it's like a right from Marcus Allen. This is Brian's. No, that's Keith Mowbray is the East Rock Redskins, and he's opposing Brian's Eerie Silence. Both teams 9-8. Keith scored a ton of points. I know a lot of points. I think one of only 3 teams over 400 points in the regular season. Brian's got a good team. Both, a lot of good coaches and good teams this postseason. So it's really anybody's title to win. If they can coach well and get a little luck, never hurt anybody, right? Well, hurts the other guy. Doesn't hurt you, though. But anyway, so Keith's got an interesting offense that I really like. I mentioned in the preseason season preview. Left tackle, left to Marcus Allen. Defense calls pass. One linebacker there. He's going pro set. It's one thing nice about calling these games for the older seasons is oh, wow. Hangouts on air is going away August 1st. I'm going to do something about that, Dennis. 3rd and 2, but a lot of pro set offenses, a lot more consistency in the formation for the offense. That makes it easier. But he's got Bo Jackson, who's got a great quad, a little limited on the unfatigued carries, maybe around 17, I think. Yeah. Looking past the Marcus Allen, defense calls pass but vacates the zone. So it'll be guessed right, but nobody there. And it's complete for 7 yards and a first down on the defense's car, thanks to no man in zone. Now, this league plays with this a 1989 season, and we're playing with the STRAT rules from the 80s. No dump off, no white die sticks, but those rules generally play pretty well with this era. As Dennis joins us. Hello, Dennis.
Howdy.
Joining, okay. A little pre-Crowley family dinner joining. Is that what's going on?
That would be correct.
Everyone left to Bo Jackson, but you guessed right. There's a 4 there. Offensive onside tackle +5 is 0. Chris Hinton, the 6, makes the play. Keith's got an interesting offense. Bubby Bristol, low turnover quarterback, kind of okay, like on the flats and stuff like that. But he's got the big receivers with Jerry Rice and John Taylor, and he's used those cards and the threat of Bo Jackson running and some consistency from Marcus Allen running and receiving to power this offense that's done very well this year.
Yeah, he's one of the teams that has a quarterback touchdown to interception ratio that's in his favor.
And when left, Bo Jackson gets incorrectly and nobody there. 12 plus 92 on Bo Jackson's card. I don't know if he hit it all year. We've all seen it there. Probably against the Cincinnati Bengals in the NFL. Box cards on the 12 end run wrong. Oh, my goodness. 58-yard touchdown for Bo. Bo knows
Dennis. His longest of the year was 43 yards. So he may or may not have hit it, but he hit it this time to great effect.
Indeed.
His longest run of the year.
Yes, and that was certainly the longest run of his NFL season, Dennis. I feel safe to say.
Yes, I think you'd be correct in saying that.
I think I was watching that game. 7-0. Yeah, I think he had 2 90-yard runs in his career. I think he had a 91-yarder, or an 89-yarder. And I know one of them was against the Bengals, and that's the one that I watched. All right, so now it's interesting because, you got Neil Anderson's got a great card. For my money, this was the best rushing card to get this year with Neil Anderson's. Brian uses him to great effect. I think he had the leading rushing attack in the league. I was looking at some stats earlier today. I know Dennis loved to look at the stats, right, Dennis?
And Anderson's longest run was 64 yards on the season, and he ran for 26.04. Pretty incredible.
Short pass Willie Gault, of course, 17-game season, but still, even though that still would have been 24 plus in only 16 games. James Hasty, the 5, could not meet the play on the white die 6. So quick first down for Erie as Brian's to midfield. Looks like we could have a good offensive game here. Both these teams are average, it looks like, Dennis, and they have good offensive personnel. Brian's got the quarterback platoon of Chris Miller and Hugh Millen. Not exactly short pass Willie Gault gets incorrectly, and there's a receiver gets wrong, +22. Much like Keith, both these teams play a similar style, Dennis, where they're running the ball a lot with these very strong running cards, and they have explosive receivers, and they're hitting you short or long with those receivers. For Brian, especially when Chris Miller's quarterbacking, when New Millen's in, he'll throw flat a little more. Chris Miller's pretty terrible flat. Dennis, you and me, I'll throw flat with almost anybody. He's got a pretty bad flat card.
Yeah, but the good thing about this rule set is you can switch back and forth with, from play to play.
That's right. Everyone left Dean Anderson guessed incorrectly, running at a 0-4 plus 23. And there you see chunk, Dennis. Because the 22-yard completion Willie Coltwood was 9 long gain units on short pass wrong. That's a quarter of the column. You get a plus 23 here for Neil Anderson with this outstanding wrong card. Now, Anderson's got the advantage on Bo in that he's got many more carries, and he's probably a little stronger against right. And maybe even a little more consistent gets wrong, but not quite as dangerous on the edges, but still plenty dangerous. And here, Brian goes 2 tights, 2 wides, 1 running back. Defense showing blitz. John Tice checks in. Linebacker Neil Anderson. Defense calls run, but he gains 3 yards. Like, these are things you don't see in the modern NFL, Dennis, in Strat. 6 plus 8, 8 plus 7 on the linebacker, right?
Right.
I mean, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that when the 2018 game comes out in a few weeks, Dennis.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot more impetus to key in this card set.
That's a good point. Tight end offense, 3-4 blitz. Thought you might see a full house here. Bump up those inside guys and take it and just pound it. Is I think what I would do. And then you still have Mervin Fernandez covered by the 0. Well, or a running back. You always play around with your halfback. Dennis can make Neil Anderson the flanker covered by the 0 if he's your better receiver, for example. But we get in this close. There's a short pass to Mervin covered by the 0, 12 touchdown, just like that. So it's been a defensive year in a lot of ways. It's a defensive rule set. In this era was not as high scoring, but it wasn't terribly low scoring either. I
think the explosive cards kind of offset the rule set, so you do see more offense than normally.
Yeah, well, we've spoken about the rule sets, and the Strat rule set, the right, wrong, and everything else worked fine in the 70s and 80s. It's when the NFL passing started dominating over the running, and the passing became much safer. The passing in the 70s and 80s, you're throwing interceptions, you're getting sacked. You can't just sit there and fire the ball 40 times. It's a little more dangerous, especially with stock teams. And with Lepo Jackson, why not? He's got a linebacker there. Eventually, tackle +2. Chris Hinton traded from the Denver Broncos to the Colts, so Denver could get the rights to John Elway, Chris Hinton plus others back in 1983. Elway refusing to play for the Colts.
Yeah, that cuts.
These guys get a pass when they do that. Why does Elway and Eli Manning get a pass? But if some other guy is demanding that, he doesn't get a pass. Anyway, I'm sorry, Dennis, what are you saying?
That cuts his average per carry down to 21.7.
Yeah, he's to pick it up. Second, Nate. Lopez, John Taylor gets wrong. Pre-safety's only a 4. He's maxed out defensive back in zone. Extra long gain, 4-4 makes the play. Vince Newsome. Oh my goodness. That was a defensive back in zone, extra long gain. And the 4-4 makes the play. And as often happens, you get the slow pause before the formation is chosen by the offensive coach. After the 4 prevents the long gain, Dennis.
Yeah, it's something you might blame it on the animation on the long pass, or you could blame it on the fact that he's, cursing and screaming, and his dog is running for cover.
At the very least, staring in irritated fashion at the reading. 3rd and 8 for East Rock. 3 wide, 1 halfback shotgun formation. Nickel 3-3-5. It's Mike Wilson checking in as the 3rd receiver. Jerry Rice is covered by a 6. John Taylor by a 5, Bavard by a 4. Go ahead, Dennis.
That was a good reason why you leave your free safety home when you call run, because if he had moved him to the short pass zone or to let a flat, that was a long gain.
That's right. Then we had a short pass to Jerry Rice on 3rd and 8. Defender X 6 makes the play. Jerry Gray of the LA Rams, I believe. And we've got, it's 4th and 8. And Maury Buford comes on for the punt. 41-yard punt that's down to the 38-yard line. And also the punting is not as good in this era, and there's a lot more better punt returns, and there you see it. This is a strong set for punt returning in this draft. I felt like, Dennis, and you see a lot of it here. Even like this guy's not. This is Mark Green. Not a great card, but look, +8, +9, +16. That's pretty solid. And in the opponent return, you're getting good yards, 9, 6, 13. These punts only going in the low 40s. It's very easy to get 30-yard nets as sort of a common occurrence.
Yeah, this is the era where special teams coach worked their magic, and I think for the most part teams ignored that part of it. They used their scrubs, whereas later on you'd see even starters playing a little bit on special teams to make sure big plays didn't happen.
There was a linebacker of 6 for 8 yards for Neil Anderson. He was off to a good start, 3 carries, 34 yards. I don't think they ignored it. I've always heard about teams not overlooking special teams. I just think that the punters and the kickers is is good. Is probably part of it. I'm not sure why the returns were better though. So
yeah, I have to remember this is the era where they encouraged kickers to kick with no shoes on, which I'll never understand. That was a thing for a while, barefoot kickers.
Well, yeah. Well, the kicker did it on his own, I think. I don't think they took a guy with a shoe and to take off his shoe. Linebacker Neil Anderson guessed correctly. 8 +7. First down for East for Erie. Brian Lewis.
Well, that's the way you want to respond. You give up the big 92-yard run to Bo Jackson. You come back down, get your own touchdown, get a stop thanks to Mr. Newsom, and now he's threatening.
Yep, and all right, we take a break here. Brian's going to take care of something at home. Let's go through a personal situation. It's
let's take a quick look at the stats, the regular season stats. You had mentioned that you took a look at it earlier. Chris Miller, the main quarterback for Erie, had 20 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, which has to be +13 is one of the better margins in the set, and only giving up 7 interceptions in general. And that comes from people having to call run a lot more because he has the best runner in the set in Neil Anderson.
And not only the best runner in the set, but I believe he led the league in carries and/or yardage. He was certainly up there. He ran the ball so much. Look, if you run the ball, look at this: 55-43 run to pass ratio, excluding sacks. If you run the ball that often and you're getting 5 yards a carry, and not to mention you guys are a really good card, you're going to generate run calls. So then you're probably going to throw fewer interceptions. His bugaboo, of course, is the snap fumble with these two guys, Chris Miller and Hugh Millen. Now the backup, Dennis, though, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. So you got to count that. So that brings it down to 21 and 11 for yard ratio. He was outscored in the season by 3 points, Dennis.
And the yardage was pretty close with his opponent. There wasn't a wide gap.
That's right. And let's see, the turnovers were even at 24. Chris Miller averaged. See, I look at this. It's so easy. I mean, you look at the receiving averages, but also Chris Miller, 42.6 completed with a 7.2 yards per attempt, 7.2 average gain. So he's launching bombs. And you get Willie Gault and Mervin Fernandez. That's pretty easy to figure out there. Compared to Hugh Millen, 76% completed, 6-yard average gain. He's going the opposite direction.
Yeah, I mean, we can look at East Rock stats, which tell a similar story, but he doesn't have quite, like you said, the number of carries that he can rely on from Bo Jackson. So he passes more than he runs, and his big play guy is Jerry Rice, of course, but he throws a lot to his backs and his tight ends.
And John Taylor also averaged 21.9 yards a catch, only 32 receptions, but he's not shy about throwing it to him either. And we're back in business. 25-15 for Bubby, Dennis, on the touchdowns to interceptions that you mentioned. 1st and 10 for Brian, the teacher. Not Brian the doctor, Brian the teacher. Trying to teach Keith something about winning.
He wants to take Keith to school, as they'd say.
That's right.
As the hip kids.
Flat pass right to Neil Anderson. Defender +2 or +5. Looks like they doubled or blitzed with their defender. And it's a no defender there. 5 yards, creates a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, he moved his 4 outside linebacker over to double Mervin Fernandez, who's covered by 0. So that left
Mervin, Dennis.
Yeah, so that left Neil Anderson alone. Actually, I'm sorry, it was
2nd and 5.
Kelly got moved over.
2nd and 5. Keith is showing blitz here. run key Neil Anderson, but looking past the whole week run with you Miller coming in the game, you got to pay attention, Dennis, to who's coming in and out, and is complete for 8 yards. I had forgotten about that. I was like, oh, he's throwing flat with Chris Miller, but no, it was you Millen in the game.
That was a huge play. Huge play.
Yes, and you has a huge fumble number, 18.5.
That's true.
I'm looking at you when he snap fumbles. Chris Miller's, I think, is at least like 12 or something, also undesirably high. And we're left in Atlanta. Defense calls pass as a linebacker there, 9 for 3 yards. It's a 9.7 snap fumble for Chris Miller, so that's not as bad. That's still higher than you like, right, Dennis?
Yeah, I mean, ideally you want 1, and anything higher than that is not ideal. But in this set, I think that's probably a little bit above average, not terribly so.
9.7? No, it's not. I don't think it's above average.
Well, for the guys
below average.
The starting quarterbacks, my guy's 12. I would say probably half the league has.
Well, your guy's one of the worst ones.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
So I think in a season like this is 6 and below, you can live with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Bubby's like a 5. If we scroll up a little bit, we can see his number. Yeah, no, he's actually a 1.1. Excuse me. Bubby.
Yeah, I look at that closely, Dennis, in my quarterback ranking. It's in my formulas. So we got a 2nd down and 7 here for the Erie Silence as a hush falls over the stadium.
Exactly.
This feels like
as the call going into the huddle is not coming through.
This feels like a disconnect, but it isn't, evidently. Maybe something at home. He's helping his wife with something. But now the teacher's typing. The teacher's typing.
Typing is not a good idea. That probably means they're disconnected. Because he's not typing in the game, he's typing over in Slack. Router has an annoying habit of resetting every few hours. That would be annoying.
Okay.
I'm guessing this is one of those times.
I'm assuming he's not just giving us that general information for the heck of it.
Right. Well, at least it wasn't that he. Yeah, at least there wasn't something that had gone wrong with helping his wife up the stairs, because that would be left her at the top and then, oops, forgot to get her all the way up there.
No, well, he came back from that, so
waiting for a new
she's not
game
doing that well, actually. So
that's no good. So you're already out. Let me pull out too.
I'm already out.
All right. Well,
I didn't play my game yet. You're eliminating me from the playoffs already?
I'm out from waiting for game ID.
Oh, okay. To be fair, type in there and ask if we're getting a new ID. I assume we are. But now I'm like
yeah. And then if they kept going or something, that would be annoying. But and then we had Michael Reeves calling you out on email, assuming that he had to play you or that he was going to play you, looking to set up a time, even though he hasn't selected.
Oh yeah, he was ready. He was absolutely ready. No, he was like, oh good, I get to play Tom. I'll move on to the semis. All right, Tom, when you're ready to play, let's go.
Yeah, kind of arranged for me to call the game. I thought that was pretty audacious.
Trying to use intimidation tactics, I think, Dennis. Wake up, spell mode on. 12778.
Copy it.
Go to sleep. I know you had a good year, Michael. I created the monster, Dennis. I helped him last year with the coaching early in the season. He won a bunch of games. This year goes 12-5. And he's like, all right, let's go, Tom. Time to take your beating. Yeah, so it looks like we maybe only missed one play. I don't think he was at the 18 though. So whatever.
No, he did. He was at the 18. He had an end run to Neil Anderson. Guest run for 3 yards. Yeah. So we're in the right spot.
All right. So we got 2nd and 7 for the Silence at the East Rock 15, late first quarter. Both these teams play a 3-4 defense. There's 4 nose tackle and a 0 right end. You can see why not only Neil Anderson's card, but all this blocking.
Yeah, 4
really
6s.
Helps,
4 6s on
Erie.
the line if you count the tight ends.
Yeah, when he goes to this formation, and he can go blocking back with Craig Ironhead Hayward as a 6-7. He did not use Buford Jordan hardly at all. I think he's got a pretty good card, actually. A little bit of a high fumble, perhaps, but 2 tights, 2 wides.
And Hugh Millen back in there.
That's right. Got to watch out for that. When you play him, it's easy to watch out for that. But when you're watching, it's for some reason I'm just not looking at the quarterback. I'm not calling a play. not calling my defense or anything. Flat pass left to Swerve and Murphy. Defense calls run. Linebacker zone, only 1 yard. Darryl tallies a 6. So it's a 3rd and 6 for Erie at the East Rock 14. The big 3rd and 6. Then see if you can tell us what his kicker is. The field goal kicking very shaky this season. Most guys are still pretty good, 13 to 22. Not my guy, but most guys. But even pretty good by only 2 to 8.
2 through 9, 13 to 22. If he gets it inside the 12, he's 2 through 10.
Sure. I mean, like in the modern game, you expect your guy to be 2 to 10, or at least 2 to 9 and 12 in this range. But here you have to accept 2 to 9 in a lot of instances. My guy's 2 to 7, 11, and 12, Dennis. 3 wide, 1 halfback. You would never try a field goal with my guy. I'm going for it. 3 wide, 1 halfback. I should probably do that more often. Nickel 3-3-5 blitz. Now, I wouldn't be surprised with a draw here, despite he's going this formation. Go ahead, Dennis.
Well, I was just going to say, this is like kind of one of the things you look at when you're looking for an opponent. But his worst pass blocker is right tackle Jackie Slater as a 6'3", but his left end's only a 5'0", so that's not going to help him.
He did Emron right with Neil Anderson. Offensive onside guard is a 0. He would have been a 4 anyway. So he stood at only 3 yards. That's a 4th and 3. Now he got himself into better field goal range. Now, Dennis, in those situations, I mean, if I'm really strongly considering the run, and a lot of times even if I'm not, like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, I like to stay. The kick is up and good. It was 2 to 10. We don't have to exit in this era automatically because there's a good chance of a kick return. So Erie takes the lead. He's early in the second quarter, 10-7. But I like to stay in a formation where you don't have a white die penalty. Usually you can go 2 tight ends, 2 wides, or running back, something like that. Or if you have a good receiving blocking back. Brian complaining about his right guard 0. Well, he's a 4, but the kick is down to 8-yard line, return 19 yards by Gene Atkins, up to the 27. Because, if I'm thinking about running, I hate to suffer that white die penalty. And if I'm doing it, like in this case, to try to get maybe a better field goal chance, hopefully the first down, I hate to miss a block or get a white die guess right that's, hurting me. Although Neil Anderson's real good guess right. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, he's got all those 6s. So if you're going to run it, stay in base, go blocking back halfback or 2 tight end.
All right.
Give the guy
off tackle left, Bo Jackson. 1 linebacker there. Guessed incorrectly. 11 plus 50 on Bo Jackson's card. That's why I interrupted you, Dennis. If you're going to guess wrong, opportunity for Bo. I want to pay attention. But 11 plus 50, Dennis.
Perfect.
And that sends the Erie fans heading for the parking lot, Dennis. Spectator left the game, it says. What's happening?
Oh, I left the game.
Okay.
I left the game. That was me.
I see. 4 carries, 115 yards for Bo Jackson. Bo knows football.
His average is back up to over 25 yards to carry.
I told you you had to pick it up, Dennis. Flat pass right to Marcus Allen. Gets wrong with a 4 linebacker there. Defender -1 up +4. Loss of 1. E.J. Jr., the right linebacker, 4 on the 4, makes the play. And that was a run call from Brian. Now, we have not seen that many run calls from Brian on defense. And I think he's realizing that maybe he's going to have to do that a little more often. And that's one great thing we talked about this era and why these rules work. There was so much more running in the NFL and so much more running at a high level. And the STRAT cards are so good. Short pass, Ray Rice gets wrong. Defense is showing blitz. Receiver could be dangerous. Only 3 men there as well. Receiver incomplete. The only one, Dennis.
The unlucky 7.
You're breaking up. The only one.
Just
8 plus 20. 6
right,
touchdown.
Right now, Bo has about 20 times more yardage than Bubby.
In fairness, Bo is at least 20 times better than Bubby. Third and 11 for East Rock at the Erie 24. 3 wide, 1 halfback here. Marcus Allen, the halfback. Covered by a 0. Mike Wilson, the third receiver. Covered by a 0. Short pass, Mark Rivaro. Single coverage on a 4. Defense double teaming Allen. And receiver gets right 14 yards for the clutch tight end Mark Bavaro of the two-time world champion New York Giants of that era. He was a tremendous player when like years like 2, 3, and 4 when he was healthy before he started getting all banged up. He was really
he was
tough to get down.
The Gronk of the '80s.
Yeah, well, one of those tight ends like old school where it took like 3 guys to get him down. It seemed like almost every time. Short pass run to John Taylor from the 10-yard line. Bobby look at the end zone and he gets it. Touchdown on a 6. 13-10 East Rock. We said it could be an offensive game, and that's what we're seeing. At that time, Brian, after the 50-yard run by Bo, called run a few plays in a row, and he got burned by it as Keith was passing it, and of course got the big third down conversion to Mr. Bavaro. Extra point up good, 2-10 and 12 for Kevin Butler. 14-10 East Rock at the kickoff. So we're getting what you came for. If you paid your admission for this game, I want to know who you paid it to because you could have watched it for free. But you're getting the offense. You're getting Neil Anderson and Bo Jackson.
Yeah, when you're scouting for opponents, when you're looking at, oh my God, these two teams are both average, but then you look at their offense and you're like, ugh, I'm not sure if I want to deal with that.
Yeah, well, there's really not a lot of great choices. There was a lot of quality teams I felt like this year coming in, and not a lot of great choices when you start looking for playoff opponents, which can often happen in this format because everyone's going for the year. So the teams that made the playoffs should be even the best one. So it's not like, it's hard to find a team. And even in like a league like Samifa, if we had that rule, and we're right for Neil Anderson, 7 short gain, 14 yards. He's got 7 carries, 61 yards as he looks to catch up the Bo. This is the card, Dennis, that I believe ran for, I think, 323 yards against me. Dyson Cards with my brother. I was the Packers. He was the Bears in this season. 30 years ago,
nice.
Would have been.
Nice.
We both remember that game.
Time flies.
Pro set 3-4 defense showing blitz. Sure best Burton Fernandez against the blitz, covered by 0. Receiver plus 19, but there's a fumble, Dennis. I saw the blinky in the top left. I think there's a fumble here. And Swerve Burton fumbles the ball. Ray Bentley recovers for East Rock. The first turnover of the game and a big one. And Erie, I think, is not happy about that. I don't think he's being silent on the sideline in response to that result. As he had crossed midfield, he was doing well. This is one of those back and forth games. You don't want to be giving up possessions. And he turned it over the unlikely wide receiver fumble. Nothing you could do about that, Dennis.
The only thing you could do is get a better quarterback receiver fumble rating.
Yeah, I suppose, but that was a 1, I think, wasn't it?
He's a 3. I mean, yeah, he's a quarterback receiver fumble 3.
Yeah, but for the receiver fumble, that number goes down, right? While the sack fumble number goes up, and if on that chart, and he had a 2 on it. He had a 2 on it. So if the guy was, if his number was a 2, that might have only been a 1 for a fumble. So anyway, 2nd and 11, if I'm reading that correctly. Receiver white die 1, black die X. I think that 1 is what came into play on to check the rating. The rating is down to a 2 for that. I think that's how it works. Anyway, we had a negative 1 yard completion from Bubby to Jerry Rice. Bubby 5 of 8 for 29 yards. 2nd and 11.
Bo down to 13 unfatigued carries left, and we're just into the second quarter.
Long pass, John Taylor gets it correctly. Nobody there. Covered by 5. Incomplete on Bubby's card on the 5. 2, 5, 9, 12. Long pass. See, like, if you're like, for a guy who's like not a good quarterback, who drafted very late, is fairly low turnover, and you have a good running game and good receivers, 12 long pass wrong is not that bad. No, you're going to get a lot of wrong. I wouldn't go that far, but you're going to get a lot of wrong calls. Get the receiver. I'm sorry, Dennis, for contradicting. You know how we are with the superlatives. You're more with the great, and I'm more like the not bad.
Well, with all the turnovers in the set, have a interception split on 11, 2-3 is pretty nice.
That's true. I hear what you're saying. So he had a draw play there on 3rd and long, got only 3 yards. And Marcus at the middle, and he'll have to punt it. Maury Buford. 41-yard punt down to the 16-yard line. Was it Mark Green, I think, on the return?
Keith is getting what he wants. Oh, it's a fumble.
-1. Fumble by Erie at their own 15. It's turning into maybe one of those games if East Rock recovers.
No, Erie's got it. Erie's got it.
Erie's got it. There you go. Leroy Irvin, Johnny on the spot. As Erie avoids disaster. That's when you start feeling like it's going to start going downhill, Dennis, when you got the wide receiver fumble and then you fumble a punt at your own 15 after stopping the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, they survived that first disaster, and then they avoided the second disaster. So let's see what they can do on offense.
I think he's typing something in now.
Oh, another router reset.
Wants to make sure. No, I think in the game he wants to type into Keith that his players are fumbling the ball. That's my guess.
I think he wants to move off the fact that that the bane of his team is Duval Love, because he didn't have anything to do with either of those fumbles.
So no, so he didn't type anything. I think it looks like he just maybe he went down the sideline to chew out the special teams unit. I don't know. Or he gave Mark Green an earful. I don't know. I guess that's Mark Green's fault, not the whole special teams unit. 1st and 10 for Erie at their own 15. Linebacker Neil Anderson defense calls run, one linebacker in there, 5-yard gain. 8 for 66 for Neil.
And 19 I really love left for him.
Good, Dennis. What?
I was just saying, 19 unfatigued carries left for him.
I really love this Neil Anderson card. I mean, this is like vintage, great strat running back card. Blocking back one halfback with iron hit in there. Defense shows blitz again. Now, so far, Keith has run keyed off of the blitz. Chris Miller's the quarterback. Brian threw a short pass last time. I think that's what resulted in that fumble. I mean, it has nothing to do with the blitz, but it was on that play. Long pass for Fernandez. Guess wrong against the blitz, Dennis. Covered by 0. Safety is a 6. Chris Miller's good. Receive a long gain. Touchdown. 80 yards. Mervin Fernandez. Swerving Mervin. Former CFL star, I believe, Dennis. All the way to the end zone for 80 yards and a touchdown. 16-14. You know, Dennis, Keith has done a pretty decent job with his team. Against a team that can run the ball real well, do you want to be and has good? He's got a good long passing game with Chris Miller, Mervin Fernandez, and Willie Gault. Do you want to be showing blitz on 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 6 like every time you're in that situation?
You don't want to be showing blitz and then running. I think we're going to get hit by that bug.
Showing blitz, yeah, because it was to the goal line. You're showing blitz and then calling run.
If you're going to show blitz, bring it. If you want to live dangerously, go ahead, but don't do both. Show blitz and then call run.
Certainly not every time, right? You want to mix it up. If you're going past a few times with that, it's tough down to It's one thing if you're trying to deke the guy and you're going to call run, but I mean, Brian's been throwing it every time.
Oh, no,
I know what you're saying. We agree. You're not going to do the same thing every single time, of course. But wake up, spell mode on. 1-2-7-7-8.
The first down was a flat pass for 11 yards. Guessed wrong. From Bubby to Jerry Rice. So 1st and 10, Bo Jackson in there, 2 tight end set.
And another flat pass to Jerry Rice here. Watch out for that 5 incomplete. Guess correctly. Watch out for that 10 or 11 you're throwing against a guy covered by a 6. On the defense's card. 2 tights, 2 wides with running back. Zeke Moat in at the right 10, at the right tight end. See what he has to show. Show us today.
He's got 4 run blockers that are 5s. Why 5? 5 blockers out of the 7 that are 5s and 6s.
And Zero's here, so he's mostly going to run to his left. And run right to Bo Jackson. Guessed correctly with the linebacker in the zone. And no gain for Bo in that one. He does have the 9 short gain and a 2 long gain right and wrong, and some other decent yardage for an Emron Rice, certainly. And guess wrong, he has some stuff that you can miss a little bit. The 3, 4, 5, but still, that 8 through 12 is pretty majestic. 3rd and 10 for East Rock at their own 31. Rod Birdstein ran for under 1,000 yards, Dennis. Does that surprise you?
It did not. Playing him, you had pointed out that you only get 7 carries, really, that are going to be.
Sure. Hold on, Dennis. 3rd and 10. Strip pass, Mike Wilson. Oh yeah, you're saying 7 carries
on his
7
card.
times on his card. Yeah, on average.
Right. So no, it does not surprise me.
So Keith's been stopped a couple of times in a row, I think, here, and Moy Buford is getting a little more work than Keith would like. But and the punt, 26-yard shank, but return for no yards by Mark Green, and who run up the sideline and catch it and steps out of bounds. I think is what happened there, Dennis. But you talked about like the explosiveness of this set, and of a lot of these sets in the 70s and 80s was a lot of big plays in the passing game. So you can have like a lot of points scored and a lot of punting in the same game because you get big plays. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But you don't have the sustained drives as much as you do when you get the big completion percentages as you get further into the 90s and towards the present day.
So Erie has avoided some bad luck, big plays by Bo, and now they're kind of in control here. Up by 3, driving.
It does feel that way. Someone said, "Yep." Who's on in the background? Oh, that was Michael Reeves.
Okay. No, it was one of my kids. He's talking.
He muted himself. Okay.
All right, here. Okay, I fixed my settings, I think.
Yeah, so
it's 2nd and 5 here. 6:30. Yeah, but from scrimmage, you feel like Erie's been having the play calls. Here you go again, Dennis. 2nd and 5. He's showing blitz again. Brian's been passing and challenging him here and hurting him. You know he's going to run it through the right, and he threw the looking pass. He brought in Hugh Millen here. Flat pass right to Hobie Brennan. 2 men there. Receiver gets run plus 16, and a big first down. Hobie's got some very nice yardage there.
Yeah, that was one of those under the radar changes that STRAT made a couple years ago, where even with 2 men in zone, you have a receiver rating on 9, whereas that used to be a blank.
That's correct. They're always doing whatever they can to pump up the passing game, Dennis. Statistically, so even a point here or there. Long pass, Willie Gauld. Defense gets his pass. The blitz is on, but there's no one back there. Couple of 5.8 is incomplete on Chris Miller's card.
Guessed wrong. He's got a long gain on 9, but he guessed him correctly that time.
And he's got
now you feel like
he's got 13 long pass wrong units.
So now you've if you're Keith, you're the one that has to weather the storm here. You've got to come up with a stop, keep him to a long field goal try.
He's showing blitz here on 2nd and 10. They got zeros at both ends now, so there's probably pass pressure in here. John Bosa is 0-5. He is Joey's father. Long pass. Fernandez gets wrong again. Again, he showed blitz. Nobody covered by 0, Dennis. Receiver plus 27. Long pass, no man covered by 0 to a maxed out guy. The decent quarterback card. That's pretty dangerous, Dennis.
Stop me if you've heard this one before.
He's I know you want to, we all do the cat and mouse, and you guys like you and Dan Morin who like to do the free safety blitz aggressively, of course you're going to show it and mix in your run calls, but every time he's showing blitz and getting like guessing run or vacating flats.
Chris Miller is now at 7 of 8 for 172 and 2 touchdowns.
And there's a receiver double team incomplete from Mervin Fernandez on 2nd and goal for the 9. But I think he's trying to goad him into being scared of the safety blitz, and he's thinking that Brian's going to respond by running Neil Anderson. Of course, he's got a great card. Why wouldn't you run him? But Brian's like, I'm gonna make you show me you're going to call pass. And he should, and right now Keith's not showing him. Mm-hmm. Chris Miller's got almost 200 yards of offense passing, as he said. There's a couple of touchdowns. As a linebacker, Craig Hayward gets right linebacker right part of zone, 4 yards. Carlton Bailey's a 0. So it's 3rd and goal from the 5 for Erie. Everyone in his brother knows that he's got interest in running the ball here. He could do that. The blitz is on. Now, here's not the big deal if you show blitz and call run. You can show blitz and call run, but he's doing it way too often. Right, Dennis?
Correct. I mean, you can't do it every time. That's not.
He's doing it every time, and we're almost through the whole first half. And it depends who you're playing. If Hugh Miller was in there every time, I guess you can get away with it, maybe. Hugh Millen, rather. And we're right to Neil Anderson being run keyed successfully. Offensive anti-guard. Duval Love showing the love, Dennis. 4-4. After the public beratement from the head coach.
He heard
5-yard touchdown for Neil Anderson.
He read the press clippings that his coach was talking about. A little inspiration there.
It's 23-14 Erie silence over East Rock. Now, Keith has to be careful. I've played Keith quite a few times over the years, Dennis, not as much as you. When he gets down like this, he has a tendency to just start launching bombs. Now, he's got Bo, so maybe he won't do that. But I have found that he has that tendency because he likes the bomb, He usually has like he's got Phillip Rivers and like SFA or something. He usually has a decent long pass quarterback and at least some kind of receivers. And he gets down, he just starts launching bombs. Have you noticed that about him or not really?
I think that's possible. I think the problem that he's going to run into is he's going to run out of Bo Jackson carries. He may not be launching bombs with Bubby, but he's certainly going to try to dip into that Bo Jackson magic and hit one more big number.
Well, when I played him and he beat me in the regular season, he did a very nice job pacing Bo Jackson through the whole game, as did Jay with Rob Bernstein. One of the reasons Bernstein didn't have more yards, Jay wanted to make sure that the threat of Bernstein was always there. Linebacker Marcus Allen, defense calls pass. Double box to play 11, gets run, no gain. And Marcus's card is not bad if you guess wrong, particularly tough yardage on right.
Doesn't have when he kills his STRAT.
Yeah, and you want that to be the situation there with guessed wrong at a 4 nose tackle.
Oh,
just didn't hit good number.
You might want to consider, and plus the both the boxes weren't played. You might
I'm
want
gonna
to
move.
We'll take a left, gets right for Bo Jackson. Defense calls run. That's why he gets right. No linebackers there, though. +2 on Bo's card. Makes it 3rd and 8. Bo back down under 20 yards of carry.
Yes, yeah, I had him at 8.9 yards per carry at the over under.
There you go. 3rd and 8 for the Redskins at their own 22. It's a shotgun formation. So sometimes if you want to run it with Marcus Allen, take Bo out of the game. Be less likely that the other guy calls a run.
That's a good point because you don't want him. He does have a high football number.
Well, you also if you're trying to get a cheap guess run carry, so to speak, depending on your opponent. Now, a lot of guys know that, and they're not going to let you get away with that. Short pitch, Jerry Rice being double teamed on 3rd and 8 by the extra defensive back. It looks like incomplete with 4 men. Would be a receiver with 3, and Maury Buford. Too much of the Maury show tonight, Dennis. Maury Povich. We see another 30-yard net. It's a 38-yard punt. So Mark Green's going to field it at around his own 40. Box score is 13 yards. So there you have the 25-yard net. It's just very easy to get net punts of only like around 30 yards in this set. So you got a 1st and 10 for Erie at the East 47. You're already in another guy's side of the field. You have further to go to get into good field goal range of the set. 2-minute warning. Who won the toss? Who got the ball first? I think Erie did. Emma lefty Anderson defense guesses correctly. 7+4. Look at this. This is a pretty nice Emma right card. You don't have the big minus. -2 on 5. You don't have a big -4, 5, 6, 7. Good, Dennis.
East got the ball first, so it'll be Erie's ball to begin the half. They can really put the nail in the coffin here if they can get a touchdown and then get the ball back and drive for another touchdown.
Well, certainly if they score 2 straight touchdowns, Dennis, they'll be in good shape.
Even touchdown and field goal. Put them down by 3 scores.
Absolutely. Oh, they got a touchdown here. It's 31-14. You're getting the ball to start the second half. You'd be feeling pretty good. And even though these are explosive offenses, and even though Bo Jackson's there, it still is a defensive rule set, so you feel even better. At least you're not going to beat by a dump off, long gain, or disappearing linebacker for 20 or 30 yards. 3rd and 6 for the silence at the East Rock 40. Now he goes 3 wide, 1 half back again. I remember playing him. I think he doesn't mind running in this situation. Maybe he goes 3 wide to reduce the chances of a run call, especially with these zeros there. Looking past how we run, I thought for sure we'd see a run. Complete for 3 yards. 4th and 3 at the 40. Now, the modern game, this is no man's land, but to me in this era, Dennis, you can punt it here, no problem.
Defense takes a timeout, try to maximize their chances to score if he does decide to punt.
That's a very good move by Keith, especially got Bo Jackson in the backfield. So coffin corner by Bucky Scribner, who's a bit of a scrub there.
The kick is blocked.
Oh, I think you must have a slightly faster internet. You're getting the result faster time. A blocked punt. Oh, and he did not allow. It looks like he didn't try to advance it. Now, Dennis taught me a couple of years ago. Brian apparently doesn't know the rules.
Should we explain that?
My punter has no block. You may if you wish, sure. If you go for the block, you can still get it. The 1 out of 216. I think it's 112. I forget the exact combination, but I know it's 1 and 216.
That's the exact combination. You need to get 6s on a 12 total on the punt die and a 1 on the white die. So
No, it's more than that because that would be. You're right. You're right. 1 and 36. You're right. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you can look it up in the rules.
Keith with the snappy comeback, Dennis. I put Bo Jackson in on punt teams. Bo knows blocks.
He does indeed.
I
So
don't think
normal
Brian's
punter will be 1 out of 36, like the block on 12 or something like that. Block
That's
on.
right.
But any punter can get blocked once every
Lopez,
2.
John Taylor, 2 men back there against the nickel, picked off clean with the 2 men in the zone on Erie's card, down at around his own 18-yard line. I'm sure he's going to try to advance this. And we don't know for sure how far he went. It's going to be a touchdown or it could be 0. We got to wait until he calls a formation.
No, he did not try to advance it. No advancement.
No. It always says that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
When you watch the game, it always says he didn't choose to advance. It turned out that either didn't choose to advance or he got no yards on a 7, but it always says that the guy did not try to advance. And actually, here it says answer advance. Yes, it says he's got no yards out of it. So, but it always says that, and you got to wait till they call the formation and see where the ball is. So, but Keith was thinking Brian goes nickel. I've got Bo Jackson. He's going to try and come up and call run and screw me. So I'll go up to John Taylor. I said, no, I'm going to stay home with 2 guys. And we're left to Neil Anderson, short game for 13 yards and a first down. Neil's got 12 carries for 93 yards.
He did not attempt to get out of bounds, so that's interesting.
27, which I guess you could see, right? He's at his own 18. The punting game is not booming in this era. I'm getting the ball back. I'm up by 10. I could see him doing that. But now they got the first down. Now you want to try and maybe make something happen.
Yeah, and it was a white die too, so he would have gotten out of bounds.
Yep.
He does have 3 timeouts left. He did not use one there, even though he didn't get out of bounds. So maybe he's not going to try to score.
I wonder how Buford Jordan is on the end run. I know he's more of a fullback. Won't pass Neil Anderson. Even double teaming elsewhere. Anderson covered by 5. Nobody back there. Incomplete on Chris Miller's card. Brian going big that time. And Chris Miller with a respectable 7 long pass right units. 13 long, 7-13. That's when you have when you have good running backs like this, and you have some good receivers. I mean, short pass wrong, long pass wrong. These quarterbacks have got at least 12 complete wrong. Is not too bad on the long pass. You feel good about taking some shots down the field.
Yeah, especially in that situation where if you throw a pick, unless he gets a big return, you're not really worried about him having enough time to come back and score. That's
a good point. There's always the little nuances that come into mind when you're coaching. I should think of things like that and throw more bombs, Dennis, in these situations. 3 wide, 1 halfback. Whereas if it was earlier in the game or not near the half or the end of the game, the guy can go on a long drive with the possession. But here, I know what you're saying. Am I right? Neil Anderson gets wrong. Double box in play. Just misses the box, but Hobie Brennan makes the block for 9 yards. Looks like he did not try to get out of bounds again. That was second and 10.
And it would have been out of bounds again. It was a white die 4.
He does have 3 timeouts here, so.
Yeah, you use the timeout. You got to use the timeout.
I probably would have tried to get out of bounds then if I knew I was doing a near run and then run with Neil.
But I mean, that's only the difference of 1 play because he'll be able to call timeout at 15-8. So it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, we're just looking at the options here.
Yeah,
it was over 100 yards, 13 carries, $102. 3rd and 1, he goes 3 wide, 1 halfback.
Now, if you're on the other side, you're Keith, and you're seeing him run with Neil Anderson. If he runs him 3 or 4 times in this drive and doesn't get any points, you're happy about that. You know that's 3 or 4 times more. You don't have to see him in the second half with those carries could really matter.
Sure. Although I think both these guys did do a pretty good job of pacing these guys for the course of the season. That's another reason why I don't understand why Like no Buford Jordan at all, really, for Brian this year. If you look at the stats. Linebacker Neil Anderson, double box and play, 19 yards up the middle. First down into East Rock territory. That's going to be a timeout. I bet he wishes he had gone out of bounds on that 2nd and 10 now. But if you get a chance, look at league managers, look at Buford Jordan's card. It's pretty good. You can go block him back on a fullback and bring him into spell Neil every now and then and still have a running threat in there.
Yeah, Buford Jordan only ran 15 times on the season, and he ran pretty ineffectively. Let me look at the card.
It's not a card that screams ineffectiveness, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Yeah, he's got really nice columns. He's got strong linebacker and off tackle.
He'd be getting some carries in the Dennis Crowley offense, I guarantee you that. Short best to Mike Alexander was complete for 12 yards and a first down. As Erie's now down at the East Rock 29, they call timeout with 8 seconds left. You could have clicked that thing to do it with 1 second left. And he's going to try the field goal. It's up and good. 2-7, 11 and 12, 27-14. Doesn't really matter that he didn't do 1 second because now he's an onside kick. And 27-14 for Erie. Even the field goal there was big, Dennis.
Yeah, put him up 13, and he's going to get the ball first. So if he tries for another field goal, you're up 3 scores.
Not only that, but his offense has been just waltzing up and down the field, hitting big plays, running Neil Anderson. Keith's questionable use of the free safety blitz on 2nd down and 5 and 6, and then calling run and selling out. That strategy has not served him well, Dennis.
Yeah, the good news is either Bo Jackson or Neil Anderson will be out of the playoffs after this game. Of course, the bad news is Neil Anderson or Bo Jackson will still be in the playoffs after this game.
That's right. Very interesting with who's going to get chosen to play whom in these types of games, because you have a lot of guys. Sometimes the way you build your team upon kind of what's there for you, right? Like when you were picking, Barry Sanders was there. If Barry was gone and Neil Anderson was already gone, I think Bo was already gone, you might not have gone for a running back first. You might have gone for a defense. Who knows? But instead, you ended up with a great running back card. If Barry got 1 pick earlier, who knows, right? I don't remember. I always focus on that pass defense, as you know. Win the second half. The kickoff went to the 15 for plus 22. But some guys go for if there's a really good quarterback there and it's later in the round that you think you should take him, guys will take him. So a lot of times you might have a team that's run-oriented with only an average defense, pass-oriented with an average defense, or defense-oriented, maybe the offense isn't that great, depending on what you've got. But all these teams have got something pretty good going on, especially the playoff teams. Flat pass right to Neil Anderson. Defense calls pass. Receiver gets wrong because he puts it on the other side. 8 yards, makes it 2nd and 2. And I feel like Brian's done a very nice job tonight mixing in the flat passes and the different types of runs, and certainly enough of the short passing and long passing that Keith can't feel comfortable like he knows what Brian's going to do.
Yeah, I think that's he's really in a bad spot here. He needs a turnover or something to change the momentum around.
2nd and 2. Let's see who shows blitz.
Let's see if he actually brings the guys.
Right now, he's not doing anything. It has not been a couple of hours, so I don't think we're dealing with a, what do you call it, a router reboot? I'm not saying that Buford Jordan's card is great, but if you want to get a couple more carries out of Neil during the game, that linebacker off tackle wrong is pretty good. I know you're not getting a lot right there, but maybe maybe bring him in with you, Millen. I don't know. Keep the screen up on the road. He blitzed the guy covering Neil Anderson. Dennis, are you wearing the zebra uniform? You got the white and black stripes. You're interpreting the rule for the coaches.
As a commissioner, you always need to be available to answer these questions.
Yes. If only there was a whistle function we could put in the game. Well, it's funny. Some of us have played the game a real long time. Others of us have played so much online and read the rules that we know them. You're one of the best. You're probably maybe the best one for knowing the rules. Certainly one. I don't think anyone knows the rules better than you do. You know them all. Looks like a right for Craig Hayward with a run key in the Atlantis. This will be us wrong. And box score is plus 15 and a first down for Ironhead. I would be just a little leery with him with the high fumble, Dennis. 31.5. And you can counter this because Barry's got a high fumble and Creed's got a high fumble. It's like I remember playing. It was like when you run with Barry, it's like a 1 of 40 fumble basically. If I add the snap fumble and the run together, although you do recover half of them. So, but but Barry's code was so good that even in my formulas, he was still real high. I would love to get Barry. I love Barry Sanders. 1st and 10 for Erie at the East Rock 40. I mean, how many yards of offense does this guy have now? Are we around 300?
Hold on, let me look.
We're well beyond 300. 360 yards of offense for Erie right now. Let's try to let me close the stupid window. And what do we get here? They have 5 yards somehow. They won't show me because they wouldn't let me close the window. 5 yards of offense, early third quarter. No dump off, no white dice 6. And they really haven't been lucky rolls either. Throwing long pass wrong, throwing long pass, against the safety blitz. You're running wrong in your Anderson, you're throwing flat pass, no men. I mean, it's not like he's been getting, snake eyes, long game gets right on his quarterback 3 times. Look at best in the Anderson, double team. This could be big. Picked off on your +5, but it's not a flat pass only, it's a looking pass. I see it says answer advancement, no. But I guarantee you he tried to advance it because everyone tries to advance questions. And now we'll see when he chooses offensive formation, he did get no yards, it turns out. Or maybe he did choose to not advance it. The thing is that it always says he did not try to advance it. Other than that, I think it's a Samita playoff game. I think Jay told me about it. They saw that it's true. And what you'll see then is like if he gets yardage, he'll still say no, but instead of being at his own 30, he'll be at like the other guy's 48 or whatever. And then you have to do the math. And he's a 22-yard return. Pro set. So there's the big turnover. You Millen, the 1 TD 4 interception guy, not doing the job. Of course, Keith with the shrewd double team of Neil Anderson. Keith's not. He's saying, "All right, I was aggressive on defense in the first half, but that's how I play. I'm not going to just mix it up here. I'm going to still be double teaming and everything else." And it would have been picked up only 2 to 4, 11 and 12 on a straight guess right call. So good for him. Short pass to Mark Bavaro, defense close pass. 1 blitz is on. We haven't seen really a sack today, Dennis, which is odd in this era. As I get rid of the jinx, Bobby, but no, receiver gets right +14. So East Rock up by midfield. Now they're in good shape. The huge drive for Keith here. There's a lot of football to play, but if you drive in a touchdown here, you really feel like, all right, I'm getting my ass kicked pretty much, and here I am. I'm down by 1 score.
Yeah, he's talking about needing 5 turnovers to catch up. That's an exaggeration. He just needs 1 big Bo Jackson run, and he's back in business.
Slap Marcus Allen, nobody there. He is covered, but that'll be guess wrong. Complete the only thing. The 7 of despair. No, I don't like that. I don't know. We'll see. I know you like the unlucky 7.
I'm not gonna. I'll respect your only thing.
You might win me over. We'll see. So there were 5 men on line of scrimmage, but not in the blitz zones. So that's why those guess wrong on Bubby's card. 2nd down and 10. I believe that's correct.
Yeah, that's the flat pass is guess wrong rule.
Off tackle left to Bo Jackson. Defense calls run. Nobody there. Offensive tackle's a 6, but no gain on Bo's card. 7 carries, $117 for Mr. Jackson. Number 34, I believe Bo was.
Yeah, my 8.9 yards per carry over is looking good right now.
Yeah, although you'd like to see another short gain or another big run, Dennis, to give you some cushion. 3rd and still looking pretty good. Yeah, you'd have to run. Let's see, 3 wide, 1 halfback. Yeah, if you had 10 more carries for no yard, you're still over. No, my math is tough to do math sometimes in the middle of a play. 3rd and 10, 3 wide, 1 halfback. Short pass Mike Wilson again. Covered by the 0. 4 men there. Bobby hit a couple of these.
And remember, both these coaches have that average pass team.
Second time he hit it. 13 yards on the 1st down. That is it's first catch for Wilson. My bad.
Hello, Newman.
But That's right.
Newsom good, Newman bad.
And yes, Newsom only good because he got that right there 4. The rating is only a 4. So, but Bubby's hit a couple of big third downs for Keith. He hasn't done much else. 8 of 17 for 67 yards. Jerry Gray had to hustle over on the tackle there, Dennis, to help the neophyte Newman. Left tackle left the boat. Defense guesses correctly. One linebacker there. You want Chris Hinton's number to be called. Offensive onside guard Randy Dixon, the 5, makes the block. And it's a 7-yard gain for Bo. He only needs about 3 or 4 more yards, Dennis, total, to guarantee your victory on the over/under.
Nice.
2nd and 3 for East Rock. It's still only 9:36 to go in the third quarter. I feel like there's a lot that's happened so far. Looks like a right to Marcus Allen. What the classic short yardage running back. 8 plus 11 with the box, plus 21. As Brian's been shifting his right outside out and blitzing on the right side to cover that 4. And he pays the price there. And not only to cover the 4, but to get you green on the line of scrimmage with that 12-3 asterisk. And Marcus, the Hall of Famer, gains 21 yards. Marcus is so interesting because he was not built like a short yardage back, but he was known for being a tremendous short yardage back and goal line back. And Strat caught him this way in this era, in sort of the post.
Another rule problem. I don't know why that's failed when there's a linebacker in the zone. Yeah.
Well, that's what he said. Yeah. When you say rule problem, you mean him not knowing the rules. Is that what you're saying?
Explain to him now, or just forget about it.
Yeah. By all means, explain.
Let me just find it in the rules so I can put it to him in Slack because it's a little bit more lengthy. Sometimes it's easier just to cut and paste these rules. And I'm always happy to explain things, but I'm always hesitant to do it during a game. I don't want to break up somebody.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, in that case, don't. Maybe leave yourself a note and do it after the game. Well, now
I'm sure this may have come up. I remember telling him before in our game why this happened.
Five pass right to Marcus Allen, throwing at a 6 linebacker, go by 0. Double elsewhere for the defense. You could just type in, Dennis, the rule was applied correctly. I'll explain to you after the game or something.
I like that.
And it's complete for 3 yards from Brister to Marcus Allen.
It's really because he's in a 3-4 and he shifted his inside linebacker out. It was the inside linebacker is out of position. So
you need the 2 linebackers there.
Right. So that's going to be listed under your formations. Every one of these things, the 3-4 defense, the 4-3 defense, the switching between them, whatever, all that's explained in the rules. It is a steep learning curve, but you will benefit by reading those rules.
Flat pass left to Bo Jackson, complete for 3 yards. So it's a 3rd and 4 now. This is a big conversion here for East Rock. Does he play to get closer and go for it on 4th down? If he can't get the first down because he's down by 13 mid-third quarter of a playoff game, does he throw the pass, try to get a touchdown, and then kick a field goal? I hate to kick a field goal here.
Yeah, it's way too early to go for it on 4th down, no matter what happens, unless it's 4th and 1. Yeah, I think so.
I'm saying, so 4th and 2. You say no chance.
Just take the points. It's too much time. There's 22 minutes left in the game.
Okay.
Just take the points. It depends on your field goal kicker. Let's take a quick look at
Let's assume he's 2 to 10.
And he is 3 to 12. He's 2 to 10, and 2 to 9 from 13 to 2 9 and 12 from 13 to 22. I would still
defense showing blitz. I wouldn't be surprised at a run with Marcus Allen. Line up Bo Jackson. Defense calls run. 2 linebackers there. He's got 2 5s blocking and a 0. At 9 is a short get. 8 plus 3. There's the 4th and 1, Dennis. See, you have to go for it here, right?
Yeah, this is when I would, especially with his guest runners. They're both very good.
I'm going to go full house. I'm going to make sure that Marcus is the halfback because he's my better receiver and he's covered by 0. Although Bo can catch the short pass a little bit, Marcus has got to be better at it. He's going to bring in Maurice Crawford down for the 6, so he's got a halfback here.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, Yeah, he should have
Bow at
switched them.
halfback. Yep. Plus, you put that in the other guy's head. Full house, 3-4 blitz. Average defense. I think you have to run. I always say you have to run it, but sometimes you get that feeling, right, Dennis? Think about throw a short pass. I got it. And then you throw the short pass. You do that, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I would end run here because he brought in Hugh Green, who's a 0 outside linebacker. So those linebacker in zones on the D card, you're still going to get your yardage.
Interesting call. Linebacker mark is down. Successful run key. He needs a defense's card. He can still get it with the blocking on the defense. No, -1 card. And a fumble looks like, Dennis. It's all blinky.
Yep, it's a fumble. Recovered by Erie.
Just fall on it. There it is. 94.2.
So he didn't want to waste a premium run from Bo in that situation. He didn't want to, really his choices were the sneak to Bubby and the run to Marcus. He goes with the run to Marcus and correctly guessed. Great coaching job there by Brian.
Although in that spot, you can't be worried about, quote unquote, wasting a carry with Bo because it's 4th and 1 in the middle of the third quarter and you did your best play. So I wouldn't rule out that play, I would say.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah, we was thinking.
Narrow things down a little bit. I
got you. I got you. That's what Brian was thinking. You're saying in your mind. I got you. 7 yards for Neil Anderson up the middle, and Brian's where he wants it right now. So the close to the goal line stand, kind of 7-yard line, 4th and 1. Huge for Brian. And let's see if he can get his offense going as he's been doing all day. There was a line buck for Anderson for 7 yards. He's got 15 for $128. Jeff Cross is the right in 0-10. Off tackle left to Neil Anderson. Offensive onside guard +7. Tom Newberry on that LA Rams offensive line. So DeVallo is a 4. Everyone else. DeVallo is a 4. The left tackle is a 5. Everyone else is a 6.
Not too shabby.
5'7". That's pretty damn good. And you even have Ironhead Haywood in there. If I want a lead blocker, Ironhead's a good nickname for the guy, Dennis.
Yeah, I would agree.
Sounds like trouble for the defense. That's amazing. This running game is so tough. Off tackle left to Neil Anderson gets Ron +6. Like I just love. Like here, he only has a 7-short gain, so the end run is nicer. But you got positive yardage up and down. You got 2 huge runs in 2 and 3, and you still have a 7-short gain, and he's good guess right. So it's like this is just so reliable. I'm going to get something good.
Yeah, they're really. It's too many pass calls for Keith right now. He's got to buckle down.
Yeah, except when he's showing blitz on 2nd down, like right now. Sure, as Vernon Fernandez being double teamed from the blitz that time, and then complete finally. Well, it took him a while to come around to that. And that off tackle wrong is probably Neil's worst wrong column. The end run wrong is so strong in that card. The linebacker is weird because it's got 7 no yards. The rest of it's good, but you have to like that 6 + 8 and 8 + 7 gets right. That's just awesome. With 2 still a long gain.
Yep.
You haven't seen that today. 3rd and 4 for Erie. I like calling some of these older games because usually don't call them. And this is the strat I grew up with. And, the running cards are so much more appealing, And you got the big pass rush. There's a lot of – you got the big receiver averages. There's a lot of stuff going on. And the game plays well with the rule set of that time. I don't like the modern leagues using the old rule set. This doesn't come out right to me, but that's my opinion. 3rd and 4 for Erie at their own 27. Showing blitz here, which I don't have as much of a problem with. Looking past the swerving Mervin. Run key receiver gets wrong, incomplete.
So he swerved it there and dodged the bullet.
Swerved the wrong way, yes. Oh, yes. He's swerving, yes. Hugh Millen was in there. I think that Hugh Millen has not really gotten the job done for this team. But Brian might disagree with that.
You got a wrong call.
Yeah, good for Keith. He got the stop he needed. So despite getting stopped there within side of the end zone, 38-yard punt, that's going to be down to the 35. Fair catch called by Dave Meggett. I mean, there's just another punt returner with 6 + 27. Micah has that. That's awesome. 4 + 9, 10 plus 6, touchdown and 2, and then the opponent 11, 9, and 7. So you're just getting like almost, I have to do the math, but it seems like almost a 10-yard average on these on your average punt return sometimes. Maybe even including the fair catches.
So crucial drive for Keith.
Absolutely. Right, Jackson guessed correctly. He wants an 8 on the defense if he can get it. Gets on the offense, but still gains 5. Okay. 10 for $132 for number 34 out of Auburn.
Short gain if he's guessed wrong there. And he's down to 10 or 7, excuse me, 7 on unfatigued carries left.
One bet Jerry Rice. Nobody there. Though there's a guy there. Defensive back in zone is only a 4. Defender X, however, is a 6. And that's incomplete. You have 7 units of defensive back in zone, 5 units of defender X. That was a white die 4 anyway. So 3rd and 5 for East Rock. But yeah, Keith, he bounced back to play some good defense after failing down near the goal line, but he's got to respond with a good drive here. Like you said, Dennis. 5 has left. John Taylor's a 0 linebacker there. No white die 6, but a 7 to short gain. Complete for 4 yards. 4th and 1, your own 44. Down by 13, late 3rd quarter. Season on the line. What are you doing here, Dennis?
I'll go for it.
Okay, I agree, especially with this team, which is not a great defensive team. The Bubby's pretty good flat. You got Marcus and Bo Jackson. Now, the thing is, Brian, I feel like Brian's done pretty good being on top of Keith in some of these situations. He's been standing around on 3rd and long. So let's see if Brian calls the play again. Flat pass right, Bo Jackson, defense calls pass. Linebacker 4, Bo's just not a great receiver. But it's complete for 4 yards of Bubby's card. And the first down, Bubby with a plotting 12 of 22, 81 yards and a touchdown. Have not seen the big play in the passing game yet from these East Rock Redskins. But that's one thing with this era. You have the running game, and you got these receiver cards and these draft league team defenses. You're only one short pass wrong away from a big play in the passing game.
Yeah, and we haven't seen him throw short passes. He's been throwing flats and longs.
Lopez Marco Caro, who's covered by 4, and the defensive backs are 4. 8 on the offensive card. One of that, the defensive card, is incomplete. Now, Bubby doesn't have a great short pass card either. But, yeah, it's that short pass wrong is pretty nice when you're throwing to one of these high average receivers. And Jerry Rice is maxed out, and Taylor, I think, is a 1926. 2nd and 10 for the Redskins. One pass Marcus Allen. And there's no one covering him. So he wants that defender X. He wants something 8 to 12 on the defensive card. Not a receiver, but 8 to 12. It's a 7. Picked off 2 to 5, 11 to 12. Incomplete. White die 5. That 8, 9, you had 5, 9. You still had 12 units of completion. So that's a 1 in 3 shot. And you get a little bit on your receiver, but not much. So you can see why some guys aren't as concerned about. I know you're one of those guys that like to throw your long passes to your sneaky blocking backs when you have the chance, Dennis. Is that true or false?
Yeah, but you're hoping for that free safety to be vacated.
Yes. So
then you really increase your chances for a big hit.
And you're looking at long gains, and it'll be more than 12 units. 5, 9, 11 units of defender, and of course 4 clean units of long gain. And you're getting something on your receiver's card. Even if it's only 2 out of 36, it's not 0. 5 pass left to Marcus Allen on 3rd and 10. Keep trying to get at least 5 or 6 yards here. You'd love a 7 on the defense against that 0. Picked off 2 to 4, incomplete. 4th and 10. He's going to punt it here, of course. And his own 48's now. So he's just got to hope that he punts it, gets a decent punt off here, and plays some good defense. And you can hope for that more. Oh, what is he doing? Well, this was a good game, Dennis. I enjoyed it.
We need some Bubby magic here.
Well, it's Saturday night, 10:37, Dennis. I wonder if there's any beverages flowing over there in East Rock. 4th and 10. And no dump off. No, boy. You have to punt here a million times. Right, Dennis?
Yeah, there's so many chances for a turnover in these sets.
Yeah, it's a defensive rule set. Lopez John Taylor being double teamed by Vince Newsom. So you got to get something on. No, incomplete. So
it goes for the triple double.
I don't understand that offensive decision to go for it there at all.
Too early. Too much too much yardage. And then plus, even if worst case scenario, you punt it, you're making him use up more carries by Neil Anderson to get there. Now he can get there in one carry. He can get to the field goal range in one nice carry.
Lopez Mervin Fernandez against the short yardage defense. Suddenly there's a 6 on Mervin Fernandez. What was that? Long gain. Oh, that was the safety. That was the animation showing the safety over there. Long gain, gets wrong, 44 yards for Swervin Mervin, who's got 6 catches for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the Erie Silence are making a lot of noise tonight. Is they going to head on in the playoffs? Probably. The game's not over.
Yeah, they're silencing their critics in this one.
Yeah, Dennis, I'm really not a fan, especially in this set. I'm not a fan of the short yardage. I really don't like giving up long pass, 0 men, wrong.
Yeah.
In general, if the other guy's got like at least some kind of defensive receiver capability, call run and bring up 2 linebackers. Call run and bring up all your linebackers. I hate giving up. I'm giving you long pass, no man, wrong, and my corners are reduced by 1. All the short pass defenders are reduced by 1. And if a short pass, short pass 3 men wrong, and all the defenders are reduced by 1, and all the receiver readings are there. And then the flat pass wrong is not like, with 1 man, I'm really going to stop it. So, a large percentage of the time, especially with the white die 6 rule. But looks like a right to the Anderson run key for Hayward, -1 in the defense's card. He had to punt it early because, you get him back on his own 20-25. Your defense has actually played pretty well in the third quarter. Maybe you got a chance, and then this happened. Then you do this instead. So, but as it stands, though, if you can hold him to a field goal here, he's still alive with 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. As you and I know, Dennis, the 2-point conversion converted at over 60% success in the 1989 Summer Sprint. Linebacker against the run. Linebacker left part is 0.3. I'm sorry, Dennis. Go ahead.
That's just a long way of saying that he's in big trouble. There's just no way you can make that call in this rule set.
Absolutely. Any rule set, really, but especially this one.
All right. You're not going to get bailed out by a dump off.
Yeah, late third quarter. Yeah, absolutely. I guess you could make an argument maybe with the dump off and somebody create a quarterback, but also Bobby Prister. It's not Marino back there. I won my game against Rick, but boy, not a lot of fun trying to start that Marino card with the short passing even. Third and was much more fun when his defense was on the field. Linebacker, there's Buford Jordan. 2 yards and a touchdown from Buford. Here comes Mr. Jordan. 33-14. He's going to go for 2 here or not. It's a 19-point game. I probably kick the extra point because you keep it a 3-score game if you fail here. Looks like a right for Hayward -2. You see how it's still a 3-score game, 19 points technically, and you got a whole quarter. I would take the safe extra point. He needs 3 touchdowns then.
Yeah.
Although I always feel like you're asking for a lot to say I'm going to score 2 touchdowns and get 2 2-point conversions. Do you agree with that?
I do, and I think that you don't know what's going to happen next. He's going to be forced to go for it again in a 4th down situation. You get a field goal again. Suddenly, it's 37-14 instead of 36-14. So those points just keep adding up.
Yeah, it would be 33-17. You mean instead of?
No, if
the offense,
okay. Give you an easy field goal chance. So.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Bottom line, 34-14. He needs 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Just keep adding it up a little bit. I think like in this position when you're up a lot, just whatever you can to make it harder for him, especially again in this rule set. So now he goes 3 wide. I think he did some of this against me, 3 wide and runs with Bo. But when you have that great guess wrong column and you're trying to hit something big late in the game, I hate getting nerfed by the white die. I'd like to run an M run and get a 12 with a white die 1 here. And Brian's already shown a proclivity to call pass when he's up big here tonight.
You're making it easier on the defense, I think.
Yeah, you might still hit Bo's big run, but you're taking away a 1/3 chance of it. It's already 50-50 offense defense. I mean, right. So. I mean, Brian not realizing, he didn't realize he was going for 2. So it must have done it automatically. I mean, you choose the formation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You score a touchdown, and then you choose a non-kick formation, you're going for 2, right? So,
Right.
So second one, bowl game's 9, 12:54 to go. Dennis, is Butch in the hospital?
Yes, he's actually taking antibiotics. He had some kind of flu or some kind of really strong bug, and they wanted to make sure that he was given everything he could to kick that bug. So they hospitalized him for a couple of days. He made it sound like it wasn't that serious, but my goodness, they're hospitalizing you. It's got to be that. It's got to be a little bit serious.
Yeah, he's worried about getting his Wi-Fi so he can play the game against Joe. Although I've been hospitalized many times with things that I was still very capable of doing things, but I had to be hospitalized. A lot of times they'll take precautions for observation, and it's like you're sitting there like, okay, I don't feel great, but I don't really feel like I need to be in the hospital. But here I am in the hospital. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it could be that type of a situation. So is he going to coach the game, or you don't know?
Yeah, he is going to coach the game. I think that they're trying to figure out their schedule. I have not heard from Joe today, so maybe it's Joe's schedule.
Should be Jerry Rice, 3 men there. Receiver gets right, 17 yards for number 80. First down for East Rock at the Erie 43. 12:18 to go. There you go. Go back to pro set. Make Bo the threat that he is. 6 unfatigued. Keith was not shy of running and runs with Bo, even when he thought there might be a guy there. We've seen more off tackle tonight. Got the 50 auto in the off tackle.
Yeah, and just to explain to our viewers, I have I looked up the rules. It's under the section called Symbols Found on Defensive Cards. If the bracket symbols follows a run and the linebacker or the free safety is not playing behind the attack area, an additional 10-yard gain results. So I was just telling Brian, yeah, he moved his inside linebacker. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, but I think that Keith had run off tackle offense to the offense's right. It was the right inside linebacker who had moved out, right. But the left inside linebacker becomes like a middle linebacker, and the box I think is open on both sides. And when I left the Bo gets roam, there's a linebacker there. Keith needs his own card. He gets 6-7 yards. Oh, it's like a legendary mythical player that's like, you get excited when he gets a chance to do something. And we've seen him do it tonight with 12 plus 92 and the off tackle 11 plus 50. 2nd and 3 for East Rock at the Erie 36. Everyone in the brother knows, if you play Keith at all, Dennis, he's thinking bomb right here. That's what he is. That's what I call the obvious guy. Yeah, good for him. Short pass to Jerry Rice. U Green's blitz. We have not seen any sacks tonight, Dennis. Picked off 2 to 5, 11, 12 on Bubby's card. Too much Bubby ball. And see, it looks like no return, but he returned to 25 yards. You see?
Got it. Yep.
Down to 22. Yep. Second pick of the game for Bubby. Playing as he did later in his career for the New York Jets. Is it? And he was an Eagle at one point, too. Offside right now. Anderson, no gain.
So let's write the headline for tomorrow's game. Is it going to be Twisted Brister, or is it going to be Miller? Steve Miller's band sells out. Chris Miller in this case. I don't know. We got to come up with something good because this is a slaughter.
Let's see. We got to work Mervin Fernandez in the game. And they had a huge game.
Okay, so say Erie swerving on.
Erie swerving on. Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
These are the things you get to do when it's a 19-point lead and there's 10 minutes left in the game.
Fernandez's hideaway. Fernandez's runaway. No, that's not good.
Miller's been great. Miller's done exactly what you want to do. Really, Neil Anderson is the hero of the game because all those big plays came off of run calls because of the threat of Neil Anderson.
Yeah, but I think in sports terms, we acknowledge that, but then we give the actual due to the actual big plays that happened. Neil's been excellent, but Mervin's got almost 200 yards receiving. The bombs from Miller to Mervin were, to me, the those would be the big plays and the highlights.
Silence makes noise in East Rock. Oh no, it's in Erie. So
That's right. And
silence. Erie silence is Bo.
both,
Silence is the Redskins.
both did well. I like the silence making noise, something like that.
All right, we'll figure it out. Workshop this thing. Bo knows playoff exits.
I like what you said. What was the one you used with Swerve and Mervin? Erie swerving on? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Erie swerving on.
Yeah,
Swerving
that's a good
on
one.
to the next round.
We'll go now. Erie swerving on. And that was his actual nickname, if you recall, Dennis. I don't know if you remember.
Yes,
Bo Jackson. 6. I'm sorry, Dennis. What?
He's threatening my 8.9 over bet. He needs to keep one of those short games.
Well, no. Well, 17 times 9 would be 153. So you're good.
Okay, I can go cash my ticket.
Yes.
Nice.
At the local casino.
Man, if I'm in this spot, I'm running. I just keep running Bo. Just keep running him.
Well, one pitch. We got a few unpitched carries left. But one pitch right, incomplete.
You had 4 more on. You can run through fatigue level 2. So give me those last 7 carries. Just boom, boom, boom. He's gonna call run. Just keep trying to hit that 92. Of course, that got me in trouble against Ed the other day when I thought he'd just call pass, and he nailed me for a -7, basically ending that game.
Oh, was that with Russell?
Yeah, on the end run.
Lima Bo Jackson +7. So you're thinking Thursday or Friday for the ratings disc?
Yeah, because we have the pre-orders on Wednesday, so I'm going to say Friday.
Oh, really? Pre-orders on Wednesday?
Yeah, did you not see the post on the forum probably prompted by your private message to Laura? I'll have to share that with you. She posted a
Well, I didn't want to reveal that I was doing that because now anyone who hears that, I'd be like, oh, now when I have an idea, I'm going to just private message her. You know what I'm saying? So I was going to keep it at the wraps, Dennis, but okay.
Let's take that out. Let's take that out in post-production.
Yeah, we don't want Earl and Smokey Joe bombarding Laura's PM. Thankfully, they're not in these leagues, so hopefully they don't listen. Bombarding Laura's PM with
Smokey Joe, man, what is that guy? He has all these ideas and suggestions. And then in one of his posts, he's like, "Oh, I might actually upgrade this year for the first time since 2013." You don't even pay for the game. Keep your suggestions to yourself. Support the company or get out. That's my.
Well, not everyone has the income. It could be expensive to buy the game every year, depending on your personal situation. For a lot of people, for some people.
Yeah, but Leva does play the game on a regular basis to come up with some suggestions. Every time somebody makes a suggestion, he has to put his twist on it.
Yeah. He always alters the suggestion in a completely unrecognizable way. Like in a thread that's supposed to be about one thing. So
the dreaded 5 for
now, if he runs him beyond the fatigue, now you're in jeopardy of not hitting your 8.9 over. If he runs like, as a matter of fact,
a couple of -3s or something like that.
19 times 9. If he runs 2 more times for no yards, I think you're out of luck.
Well, there
you go, 9 yards. There you go, bingo. Even he'd have to lose 3, I think, on this carry.
So, what do you think about Erie as a possible playoff opponent in the next round? That's a scary team, right?
Well, all the teams, like I said, all the teams I think are pretty strong. All the teams are good. I haven't looked at them all because I'm not in a picking situation. I'm in a getting picked situation, So I really haven't looked at them. I don't think I would do the season preview show after all. We're already in the playoffs starting, so. I don't know, but it depends on your team. Look, so much of it depends upon the matchup. I did well against him in the regular season. He would tell you it's because Neil Anderson wasn't rolling the numbers on his card. And he says he was guessed wrong 22 out of 27. I don't know about that. I play good long pass defense. I like the fact that he's got high snap fumbles on both of his quarterbacks. If I can get enough run and keep my safety home to prevent Neal from going off, make him go the long field, dude, I don't mind playing that team. Michael Reeves saying East Rock offense eerily silent, lose 33-14. But that would be the East Rock. That'll be the East Rock headlines, Michael. That was in the East Rock Express, the local paper. There we see that headline. Whereas here in the Erie Ledger, we have the Erie swearing on headline. I think, Dennis.
Nice.
Dennis, 19 carries, 185, 9.7. He's still good. You have to get 2 more bad ones. So no, I didn't see that post.
So pre-orders start on July 24th, Wednesday. So I think we'll see the ratings disc on Friday.
Well, Jay is of the view that normally the ratings file is available when you're pre-ordering. He thinks they upload them all simultaneously. He feels like he has a vague memory of doing that a few years ago, that he placed his pre-order and downloaded the game. Placed his pre-order and downloaded the file at the same time. So we might be looking at Wednesday.
That very well may have been, but that wasn't the case last year. And we've seen, at least in my experience, once they do that, they kind of keep going with that slippage. They need a couple extra days to get everything ready. You never know, though. Maybe we'll be ready. That'd be excellent.
Are you saying last year you could pre-order the game and the ratings file was not ready yet?
Yeah, 2 days later.
Oh no. And it does seem like more of a Thursday, Friday thing for them to do. With these like extra things that like aren't actually ordering the game, STRAT is more of a Thursday, Friday company than a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday company.
I would agree with that.
I think on the computer game being available is usually earlier in the week, but these sort of like fan-friendly extra things do seem to come a little later in the week. And of course, I'm basing that totally off the top of my head and pulling it out of certain orifices and not having actually looked at it.
Yeah.
Pre-orders. Let's see. Very nice. Nothing in here about.
So they cut the lead to 33-21. They only need 2 onside kick recoveries to make this,
Well, yeah. We're going to go for 2 here to try to make it an 11-point game. So if the over-under was 54, you're really sweating right now.
No Bo in the game.
Fisher was 53.5. Bo knows fatigue, Dennis.
Protecting my bet, that's all.
Triple Marcus now covered by the 0 is at halfback now. There you go.
That's good.
16-22. Nope. Dennis, I really wish, like in the suggestions part, we got to tell STRAT, get these computer managers to automatically put the backups in the depth chart for special teams.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I'm tired of watching, Antonio Brown recover punt return fumbles. Like when his team is punting. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can do it yourself if you want, but who wants to spend the time going through your punt and kick depth charts to put backups in there,
Yep. 6-yard run, guess right, with a man in the zone. Those are backbreakers. Actually, East Rock's back's already been broken, so now it's just piling on there.
23 carries, $154. Now, Neal Anderson, another great game, great year for him. I really thought that was a steal. He got him like number 7 overall.
Yeah.
I just felt like his fumble number was much more manageable than Barry's, and he had way more attempts than Bo, 10 more attempts per game, unfatigued, and he's a good receiver. So I had him as the number 1 running back. Did you have him number 1? Or did you have Barry number 1 or Bo?
I had Barry number 1, but that's because I didn't check his fumble number. After I checked his fumble number, it's Neal with the bullet.
Okay. Barry does have doesn't Barry have 7 units of short gain? Guess right?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, but he doesn't have the receiver numbers that Anderson does either, and he's not as good of a blocker, I don't think.
Yeah, I think Neal's a 4.4. Is Barry a 0 or no?
Yeah, I think he's a 0. I'll check.
Is it 4 and 9 across the board that are short games in Barry?
Yeah, Barry's a 0-0.
Yeah, it's 4 and 9 short games across the board, and then with positive yards elsewhere. It's not like
Right.
getting 4 9 short game, everything else is 0 -1. It's still like 7 + 6. I mean, come on. That's a great card. And he's like, he's got the 10 off tackle and run, plus 25, plus 20. You don't get the big, huge, long gains on the edges, but it's easier to hit that 10 than that 2 or 12.
Yeah, that's the only thing is he doesn't have those huge numbers. Like, those can really be
Yeah.
game changers in the playoffs.
But he is really tough to, he's tremendous.
So this game has shown me I don't want anything to do with Erie. So we'll see what happens, though. Like you said,
Well, you got to remember, look, Erie's very dangerous. A lot of these teams are very good in different ways, but also, how many long pass wrongs, are you gonna show blitz every 2nd and 5 now? I mean, Keith. I mean, Brian coached a great game, no doubt about it. But part of that 27 in the first half to me is defensive play calling that most guys are not going to do. Like, he did not help himself with some of that stuff. I'm not killing Keith. There's nothing wrong with showing blitz and calling a run,
but just don't do it consistently.
But doing it, he did like the first 3 or 4 times on 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, it's like,
I've done
it 3 times in a row. There's no way he thinks I'm going to do it for a 4th time.
And that, we talk about risk reward. What are the odds that what are the odds that you're getting a sack there in 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 6 by showing safety blitz? It wasn't like it's like 4th quarter, the other guy's down 10, and you're trying to goad him into the bomb so you can maybe get a sack and end it because you're worried about him, nickel diming you and coming back on you or something. But like early 2nd quarter, 10-7, 2nd and 5 from his own 40, up showing blitz. I'm gonna need a sack off of that. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not.
Right.
There's just too many options for the offense to run it or throw flat, and I'm being, so I don't know. So risk reward. I don't think defensively that's a good risk because I don't think you're really going to get the reward very, very easily. I'll tell you who got the reward was Erie, and kudos for the Brian Dennis for. I at times I can get too conservative, especially in these past seasons at times against the safety blitz. And kudos to Brian for saying, "Oh, you're going to do that to me. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to make you show me that you're not trying to stop Neil Anderson, but that you're really coming after my quarterback." And Keith wasn't. He was trying to stop Neil Anderson, and Chris Miller was enjoying the downfield target of Swerve Merv Fernandez. And hit Willie Gold on a 22-yard short pass one also. That might not have been the blitz, but yeah, he did a great job by Brian. But look, the opponent to do stuff like that, you got to take advantage, and I give Brian credit for challenging. Like, that's one thing with you. It's like certain guys respond to the blitz the free safety blitz is really important. Like, I know that your personality, you do not want to be pushed around. You don't want to be cowed by the safety blitz. You like the bomb in general. Like, you don't use it too much. Use it the right amount, I think. But you like the bomb. So you're going to show me safety blitz. I'm not going to be cowed. I'm not going to run a draw. I'm not going to throw a flat pass. Like, you'll challenge it, and not every play, of course, because no one who's a good coach does the same thing every play. But you will challenge it. So against you, I have to be like, all right, I can't just like show blitz and like flood flats and call run against Anderson and get away with it because he's sooner or later he's going to challenge me down the field. Some other guys who are conservative, and I think this when you play defense, you show blitz, and like they're not like if they don't have good pass blocking, they're not throwing short or long pass. It's like there's some guys who like they're going to take some offensive coaches are always going to call the safe counter to the safety blitz. Some offensive coaches are like always going to challenge. Obviously, the best thing is to do neither of those things 100% of the time. But like Keith is a challenge guy. Keith is usually going to throw deep if you safety blitz. So.
Right. Well, it was a good playoff game. I wish it was a little closer from a spectator standpoint, but we got to see some good action, got some good hits, and we're just about ready to move on to the next round, the quarterfinals, which I know is not a great name in your opinion, but the final 8 teams, the Elite 8.
You know that phrase crossed my mind earlier. The Elite Eight. I was like, it can't be the Elite Eight when we have like only like a 17-team league, whatever it is, 18-team league. You know, it's almost half the teams. So quarterfinal, round of 8, whatever. I don't know, but either way. All right, Dennis. I know you got family stuff to do, and this is over anyway. It is only a wild card game. So congratulations to Erie. They move on. They're on to Cincinnati. Erie, Dennis, the only, from what I see here, only playoff team that was outscored in the regular season. So he's got that to think about. But I know you're saying
it might be the only average left, depending on what happens in the other game.
Okay. I'd say nothing against him, and of course he's in the hospital, so we wish him well. I could see Butch's team being a if he beats Joe, being a team that might be targeted for early selection. Well, yeah. Well, you're drafting number 1, Dennis. Who you? Oh my! What's going on over there? Someone's playing the tuba.
The gardener's here, so I don't know what's like. I was trying to get off gracefully, but the gardener's outside.
Oh, okay.
That's his blower. That's his air blower. He blows his horn.
So then you're the 1 seed. Have you looked at possible opponents to choose yet?
I would choose Wisconsin in a heartbeat. I don't see any other good, easy choices after that.
All right. So with Wisconsin out, you don't know who you might choose.
Correct. So we'll see what happens.
Are you considering anyone? Are you considering anyone with 10+ wins?
Well, I'd have to. I mean, I don't want to. Joe always gives me a tough time. I don't want to have to play Erie. So yeah, I'll consider somebody with 10 wins. I don't want to play you, so you're off the hook. But okay. I might even consider somebody with 11 wins. I might look at Dunedin or Pittsburgh or, who knows? Anybody's a target. I need to look at what matches well with my team and my coaching style. And so
could it be the 12-win number 2 seed Ohio Bobcats? Oh, Michael would be beside himself. On the 2 seed, I get chosen by the 1 seed.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yes.
Yeah, highly unlikely, but you never know.
Okay, you're respecting the performance.
Yeah, but I would pick him over. These are the ones I wouldn't pick. I would not pick Jay, and I would not pick you. Those are the 2, and I don't really want to pick Joe, but I might. But for sure, I'm not picking Ohio. I'm not picking Chico's, and I'm not picking Lincoln County. Those are the 2 I want to pick until a later round.
Well, I appreciate
so we'll see.
I don't think Jay's going to pick. Well, Michael goes second. So Michael said he's not going to pick me. If you don't pick him, he's not going to pick me. I don't think Jay would pick me because I did very, very well against his team. I think I lost. It was like a real back and forth type of deal. Which would mean so if that happens, I guess I'd end up playing somebody else. Dunedin, Pittsburgh. We'll see.
Yep.
Pretty magic.
All right,
Dennis. I'll see you around.
All right, take care.
Later.